crostata con pomodori.
It's a cup and a half of AP flour, a little salt, a little bit of extra flour for rolling it out, pinch of salt over your shoulder for luck, and then 6 tablespoons of butter. You're gonna need probably 6, but you might need up to 8 tablespoons of water to make this come together. You just kind of, you know how to do this. You just keep working this through and breaking up the butter into little bits until you form a shaggy dough, and then you knead the dough into a smooth dough. Takes a few minutes, no big deal. Then you wrap it in some plastic and throw it in the refrigerator. So then you take the crust, you roll it out, and while it's still pliable, but it's chilled, it's been in the fridge for a bit, you make a sweet little edge. Turn this in all around. I rolled it out directly onto a baking sheet. That's a really good idea, right? Because then we don't have to transfer. So I rolled it out right on here, and I take a piece of parchment so it slides off easily when it's done. And then put another piece of parchment paper on top of that, and then weigh it down just like you would a pie crust, right? Dump some dry beans in the middle. We pop them into a 425 oven and let them go till he's golden. Meanwhile, we're going to start the red sauce for this. So in olive oil that coats the bottom of a pan, heat that up till it gets a ripple. We're gonna get the tomatoes going, swirl them around, and we're gonna throw in some fresh bay leaf. We'll add a little garlic once the tomatoes are in the pan and starting to give their juice. You don't wanna burn the garlic. A little flat leaf parsley, and a little basil, torn basil. And then I like to kind of sweeten the pot if you're using fresh tomato by adding a little bit of passata, which I always have in the fridge. Just tomato puree. So I add a little extra of that just to deepen the color and highlight the flavor when the tomatoes aren't perfect, right? Now we let this just simmer with a little salt. You can add a touch of red pepper if you like. And you let it cook down until it thickens up, like this guy back here, okay? He's staying warm, so I'm gonna let him hang for a bit. The second sauce we're using is Mornay sauce, classic sauce. So we take a bechamel, or besciamella in Italian, and we add a little bit of cheese to it. You can do one or both of Gruyere and Parmigiano Reggiano. Of course, I'm gonna do a little of both. So we take about 2 tablespoons of butter, and we add a couple tablespoons of flour to match, right? Whisk that together and add some milk. This is room temperature. If it was ice cold, I would warm the milk first. And you only need about a cup. We're just doing a big, pretty swirl on top of the red sauce. We're going to put this swirl of Mornay sauce. As he thickens up, we're going to season up with a little bit of white pepper and a little nutmeg. We always put nutmeg in our white sauces in our family. A little nutmeg, and then a handful or 2 of your cheese of choice, or maybe an extra sprinkle. Now, we just let this come together. It happens literally in a minute or 2. Now we're going to assemble our little crostata here. So when you take the crust out, you can, of course, serve this room temperature. Just cool enough to handle, slide it onto whatever you want to serve it on. I thought it was cute on this little pizza paddle. And we're going to put our red sauce down first, super thick. No! It's crazy. And I kind of really work it and kind of mush it in there. And then we take the Mornay sauce. Is that not so fun? And you take this, of course, you take this to the table and let everybody, add extra sauce as they cut it up. And then we take a little bit extra of the basil for the center. And there's our beautiful crostata.